how to disconnect from toxic family this summer. So we have all these notions and feelings about summertime. Some of us may still carry over the feelings that we had as a kid because summertime would mean that we were going to be off school and we looked forward to that. And so it would create an excitement. Some of us think about trips, vacations. The weather gets warmer in the northern part of the country. Actually, through most of the country, the weather gets warmer in the summertime. So, um, yeah, are you looking forward to summer? One of the first things that happens is the calendar fills up fast because friends and family want to get together. They want to see each other and spend time with each other, and none of that is wrong or bad. But if we're realistic, for trauma survivors, um, especially those with toxic family dynamics, the summertime can stir up FOMO, fear of missing out, guilt, confusion. And so today we're going to talk about how to protect yourself and your peace during the summer, whether that means skipping certain gatherings or learning how to emotionally disconnect from other people who might be attending these different events. So have you already started getting invitations for the family reunions and the barbecues and the family get-togethers? Sometimes depending on our situation, we have family that is so toxic, and toxic means that they are unhealthy for us mentally and emotionally. Unhealthy for us mentally and emotionally. Sometimes our family is so toxic that we just need to stay away altogether. In order for us to solidify our healing and our growth, we just need to stay away from the get-togethers altogether. So we're not going to be going to the reunion. We're not going to be going to the barbecues. Even if it's a holiday, we're actually just going to be doing our own thing. In some cases, you just got one or two that you need to stay away from, but you don't have a problem with the rest of the family. So you may choose to go to the get-togethers and the barbecue, but you have to disconnect from one or two of the people there. Are you in that type of situation? We're going to talk about how you can really do that, how we can navigate that weird situation where you have some folks there that are fine, but some folks that are just toxic for one reason or another. They're not good for you mentally and emotionally. You know that they're toxic when they frequently make you feel uncomfortable, when you sense that you can't be around them without compromising yourself, when you sense that you have to give in to gaslighting or playing along with pathological lying, when we have to be fake happy or fake nice around people and we can't just relax and be ourselves. This summer, make a vow to yourself to be authentic. Authentic. The important thing is not that you're there wherever the family is getting together. The important thing is that you're here with you, wherever you are. So whether you're going to be going to a family to be here for you, when you abandon yourself for the sake of a relationship, you are exacerbating the cycle of trauma. When you abandon yourself for the sake of other people's approval or to avoid them abandoning you, you are keeping yourself stuck and re-wounding yourself so that you're going to have to constantly heal and re-wound and heal. It's a cycle that you don't want to get caught into. So let's stop abandoning ourselves. Let's choose to be here. We're doing not just a family reunion this year, we're doing an inner reunion. Does that make sense? We're doing an inner reunion. We're going to stay here with ourselves. So if somebody wants to make us give in to their weird way of acting and behaving, we're not going to do it. Someone wants us to laugh at jokes at someone else's expense, we're not going to do it. When someone wants us to compromise the person who we truly are in a small or great way, we're not going to do it because we're going to choose to be here for ourselves. So let's make that vow to ourselves this summer. CPTSD comes from repeated relational trauma. Often it stemmed from the family. It stemmed from that original tribe. But please understand that first 20 years that you were being raised by those parents was very significant in your development, but it does not need to define the rest of your life. The first 20 years doesn't need to define you. It was just the first 20. There's nothing less significant about the second quarter of your life that you're in right now. Take stock. Take a moment and recognize who's really in charge now. Because it's you. It's not your mom anymore. It's not your dad anymore. Okay. So we don't want to go back into the deep unconscious, emotionally charged patterns and flashbacks of being that kid again, being that teenager again. We don't need to do that. One of the ways that we get away from that is by letting go of the idea that we can change other people. That's our first step to growing up. Even if we're 40, 50, 60 right now, I can't change other people. Just remind yourself that right now. So it's not my job to get there and change my mom or appease her every issue and temper tantrum, to soothe her, to heal her. Is not your job. Whoever the person is, it's not your job to fix them. It is your job to fix you. And that means keeping yourself safe. That means having your inner reunion this year. And you're going to stay close to yourself. You're going to be there for you. Summer events can reactivate survival roles such as being the scapegoat or the golden child. And you see the family dynamic play out all over again. A bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds all getting together, and then the hierarchy gets reestablished all over again. Some people have not matured out of their original role in the toxic family dynamic. You are not imagining it. Family events can be dangerous to your healing. Family events can be dangerous to your healing. So whatever's going on, whatever the excuse is why everyone's got to get together and why you've got to stay in touch and why you've got to be involved, take a moment, pause, and ask yourself, is getting involved prioritizing me, my health, my well-being, my mental health and well-being? Is it prioritizing that? Because sometimes what we're prioritizing is pleasing others, and that's why we're going. We're prioritizing a fear of guilt or ostracism or missing out, but we're not prioritizing our own well-being. So do you have some inner dialogue, some inner beliefs that are making you feel like you need to go to be there with toxic family when you really don't? Like, I'm going to miss out on memories. That could be one. Or you could be thinking, they'll think I'm being dramatic if I don't show up. Or what if I'm wrong about them? What if really I'm the problem and they're not the problem? Or, well, I still want to be included, right? We got to reframe our old way of thinking. First of all, missing out on the illusion of family is not the same as needing to tolerate mistreatment. Okay? Family is something that was needed in your first 20 years of development. Family is not needed for a grown-up. I repeat, family was something that was needed in the first 20 years of development. Family is not needed for a grown-up. You're a grown-up now. It's a luxury. If you have it, it's an extra. It's a want. Oh, that's nice. I have a family. It's not a real thing. You realize that's why you only get together once a year or even less, because you don't actually need each other. It's just a get together, like, hey, let's reflect and have memories. So it's not a need. This is a luxury. Like a class reunion, a family reunion is not the most central important thing to your actual life, your development, and your purpose here on earth. And so if you don't have toxic Or if you don't have healthy family, if you have toxic family, don't attend. Don't go. Don't subject yourself to more mistreatment and slighting and passive aggressiveness and covert abuse. Don't. Just don't. It's an illusion of family because what good is this luxury if it's not luxurious? Family at this point as an adult is just a want. What good is a want if it's not what you really wanted? So ask yourself, do I actually have something here that I really want that is luxury, that is an indulgence, or is this something that's a constant trap for me to fall back into old patterns? We got to reframe our thinking. You are not missing out if you don't go. You are gaining peace, clarity, self-respect. You're allowed to grieve whatever was or what never was. Grieve it. I never had that good relationship with my mom. I never had a good relationship with my dad like I really wanted to. The cousins never accepted me. Grieve it. But still protect yourself from further injury. Don't fall back into the pattern of trying to go get it. You're a grown up now. Look at your age. It's not congruent with, oh, but I need my cousins to accept me now. No, you don't. I need everyone to see that I'm a success. No, you don't. But my mom, I want my brothers are going to be there. I'm going to be the only one who's not there. And then I'm going to look bad. You can't control the way people perceive you. People are going to think whatever they're going to think about you anyway. You can show up and they can still think badly of you. So what good did that do? In reality, we tend to value a person more when they don't prioritize pleasing us, but they show that they have their own thing going. That's reality. But you can't control the way a person perceives you. So change your beliefs, reassure yourself constantly throughout this summer and during that gathering that you may be missing. I'm allowed to say no without explaining myself. Hey, are you coming? Are you coming to the gathering? You say, oh no, sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it this year. That's it. You don't need to explain anything. Oh, why not? Which most won't really ask. You just say, it's just not going to work for me. That's all. You don't have to explain anything. They're not going to ask beyond that. I promise. Even if they did, you just said the same thing. Well, why? Because it's not going to work for me. Sorry, it's not going to work out. I'm not going to be able to make it. That's it. You just keep repeating the same thing. I'm not going to be able to make it. But notice how I'm offering no explanation. It's your own decision. It's your own choice. You don't owe these people an explanation. And once again, this talk is for grown-ups. If you look around and you notice you're an adult, you might also notice that the family is not necessarily paying your bills. All the more reason why you don't owe them your presence. The version of me that stays quiet to make others comfortable is no longer available. The version of me that stays quiet to make others comfortable is no longer available. This summer, we're doing an inner reunion, which means you're going to show up for you, which means you have to be real. You have to be authentic. If you're being your real self and you're being authentic, then you cannot shut up and be quiet and be passive and go along with all the weirdness and the gaslighting and the fakery. Why are we supposed to act like everything is great here when you're abusive and you're a pedophile and you're, why are we acting this way? You're in the family reunion looking at these people for what they really are. Let's just be real. If you're real, then you're going to be like, I don't talk to her. I don't mess with you. I don't think this is funny. This really isn't that fun to me. There's mosquitoes out here. I'd rather be inside. You understand? Be real. Be authentic to how you really feel. Show up for you. Show up for you. Don't just say yes to everything. Not this year. The version of me that just goes along to stay along is no longer available. Healing is growth. Growth is change. We're not going to do the same thing again this year. Peace is more important than pretending. Peace, inner peace, is more important than trying to create outer peace because you can't control those factors out there. And so you had to get out of that old way of trying to, oh, I'm going to manage your emotions and manage your emotions. Yeah, I'm going to please everyone. You're still that kid. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Like, stop, stop. You're a fellow adult. Doesn't matter if those people are 20, 30, 40, 50 years older than you. They are your fellow adult now. You're sharing space. And so they don't have more right than you do to be authentic, to be real. So let's show up as real this year for ourselves. And maybe that means that we don't attend the event. So it's okay to not attend. But if you decide you are going to go, but there's just certain people where you gotta, you know, find your place and not be around certain people or not fall into certain things, but you're still gonna go. Okay. So let's say you say it's fine. It's not going to be a unhealthy environment for me. It's just certain people I got to stay away from. But it's going to be really nice to connect with so and so. These people are not toxic. Okay, let's say you decide to go. How do we navigate this? First of all, you want to ground yourself beforehand. Breathe, pause, meditate, and mentally rehearse different scenarios before you go. You can do that tonight, and you can do it again and again. You mentally rehearse how you're going to be able to observe and not get absorbed, observe and not absorb. How you're going to not set expectations, because if you set expectations, then it sets you up to be disappointed. You're going to not set expectations, because if you set expectations, then you are set up to be disappointed. Toxic people do not change, so you're going to get there and you're not going to try to change people. Do a visualization of how you're going to be able to walk away from the toxic person when they walk up to you. And prepare exits ahead of time. You can keep your keys with you. You can keep your purse ready to go. And when the toxic person tries to engage with you, you practice mentally. You say, oh, excuse me. And you just walk away. They can be talking directly to you. Hey, did you hear about your aunt? Like a lot of crazy things are really happening with your aunt. You go, excuse me. And you walk away. Go to the bathroom for a little while. If you're in a big enough event, right, you can just go all the way to the other side of the park or whatever it is for the gathering, go hang out with the kids. You got to get away from that toxicity. Immediately they come with the weirdness. They come with the weirdness immediately. Hey, super fake. You just stay you. Just like that. See that little mini head nod right there? This is me barely acknowledging you exist, giving you no energy, giving you every reason to back off of me, and then I'm out of there. If I'm talking to a group, toxic person walks up, I will stop talking to the group and move on out. So anyway, yeah, life's crazy, right? Hey, if you guys will excuse me, I just walk away. Leave them standing there with the toxic person. I don't know what you guys are going to talk about, but I don't want to be involved. What am I doing there? Why do I do that? Protecting my energy and protecting my energy, right? Because if you stay there, then you're subjecting yourself to that energy vampire, to that black hole of negativity and weirdness. And you're going to start to feel it, right? You're going to start to feel it. And it could be anything from the way they're treating you because they're being overly nice. That could bother you. Or it could be that they're being mean and snubbing you. That could bother you. So why even start? We have 30 years, 40 years worth of data on these people already. We know how they're going to be. So based on the data I have of this certain person, when they walk up, I walk away. That's all. That's all. They catch me sitting and I'm sitting comfortable and they're coming and talking to me, I'm literally not going to engage to the point where they could say, hello, are you not talking to me? And I'm still just not going to engage. Well, you don't want to say anything? Not going to engage. Waiting for them to leave, otherwise I'm going to have to walk away. Could we be that rude? Could we be that rude to our own brother, sister, mom, our dad, our grandmother, or grandfather? Could we be that rude? When you break down on a universal level what your primary responsibility is, what does it really break down to? Universally. Your primary, like in other words, the first thing you have to do universally is to care for yourself. You see, nothing else would work if you didn't first do that. If you don't care for yourself in any way, you wouldn't be able to help others or care for anyone else. If you don't care for yourself in any way, you wouldn't even be able to like do anything from a religious standpoint. You couldn't even worship if you don't care for yourself. Like if you say, I'm going to worship my God, but I'm not going to eat any food ever, well, then you would pass away. If you go, I'm not going to breathe, you're not going to make it, not more than a few minutes. Right? So caring for the self is not just something you should put on the back burner. It's actually the first universal responsibility by default. It's care for yourself. Then you have a foundation and a basis from which you, as a healthy, self-caring, self-loving person, could love someone or something else. Does that make sense? So now we come back to our question. Could you be rude to your own mother or father if it means that that's how you have to care for yourself? Then niceties and politeness is no longer the primary responsibility. Does that make sense? Let me make it more clear with an illustration. Imagine you have a child that you are caring for. Okay, it's been put into your care. Will you please watch my child? Please care for my child. Okay? And you're caring for this child, but you're at a family reunion. And then a toxic person walks up to the child and starts being toxic to the child that you're caring for, maybe calling it names or mistreating it, neglecting it in some way. Would you hesitate to advocate for that child, to speak up and say, hey, don't say that. Don't talk to the child that way? To make it more clear, let's use an extreme example. What if anyone, tried to abduct a child that you're caring for? And they have bad intentions. They just try to come, they try to grab the child right out of your hands. What do you think you would do? Do you suppose you would be like, oh, well, I don't want to be rude. So apparently they want this child. So I'm just going to step over to the side. Go ahead. Apparently you want this child. I don't want to be rude. Did you want anything else? Is that how you would behave if someone tried to abduct a child that you're caring for? No, right? Politeness now is not important. You would do everything necessary to protect this child, including strike out against that person, even if that meant that that could harm the person, even if it broke their nose. To you, in your mind, that would be justified. Is it rude to break someone's nose? Very much so. So by some people's idea, sure, some people could say, well, that was rude that you broke his nose. But you feel justified. Why? Because the situation that you were put in was an unfair situation. So you needed to do something to protect that child. So now we take it down a notch. If you have to advocate verbally for the child, it may mean that you have to be rude and to tell someone, no, hey, Now take that inner child and put it inside yourself because this is really you. You have a child that you're caring for all the time. And that's the one that you decided to bring to this reunion around these toxic people. So in this moment, it is your responsibility. You said you were going to be there. You said you decided you were going to go and you were going to do this and you because you weren't going to stay home, then you have to be strong enough to be right there face to face with those people and to ignore them to their face or to say, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom or excuse me, I need to take this call and to risk being rude to protect your child. Does that make sense? So we love to be kind and polite, but sometimes that's secondary in importance, and there's something more important, like our mental health and our peace. Being allowing a situation to be a little unpleasant is sometimes what does protect you. You realize that. You realize that if there's an attacker, you want to make it unpleasant for the attacker because that could be a protection for you. So that happens likewise on an energetic level when it's just someone who is just a neglector, verbal attacker. We want it to be unpleasant for them. We didn't want to give them a good experience. Does that make sense? So don't give them a good experience. Let them get ignored to their face. Let them watch you walk away from them multiple times. Let them talk to the hand. Don't make it a pleasant experience. And then why? Because now they'll stop coming up to you. It's more likely to protect you. They're more likely to give up because it's not pleasant around you. Avoid justifying, arguing, defending, and explaining this summer. Don't justify with anyone. Don't defend yourself. Don't explain. This is how we stay out of fights. If you don't do those things, you will be in no fights. Don't justify, don't defend, don't explain. Don't justify, don't defend, don't explain. So they go, well, why? How come? Maybe you're talking at a gathering, someone pipes in. Well, why didn't you do this such and such? Don't justify. Don't say, well, because I had to, because it's none of their business why you decided to move or quit your job. Don't justify. Don't defend yourself. And don't explain yourself. Hey, you're late and you didn't bring the potato salad. You're right on two accounts. What do you know? You're very observant. No justifying, no defending, no explanation. Does that make sense? That's how you stay out of the weeds with people because they want to bring you down, bring you into the weeds with them. Don't explain. Say to yourself, I don't worry about what I can't control. I don't worry about what I can't control. Since we can't control how other people behave and how they act, there could be a whole fist fight that breaks out in front of you, and you should feel nothing inside because you are disconnected from what you cannot control. Does that make sense? That's how you want to prepare yourself for these situations. And you can build your own memories and get together with your own people, your own friends of your choosing, or maybe no one. Maybe you don't have any friends this summer. That's fine too. Just get together with yourself because that's safe. That's safe. Replace obligatory gatherings with ones that feel safe, empowering to you. Even being here in these classes, we're doing these twice a week live, right? I'm not, why are we doing that? Because it's valuable. This is community. So prioritize things like this that are empowering to you. As homework, write down a boundary that you'll feel empowered to hold this summer, or something that you'll no longer apologize for when it comes to family. Then make a decision. This summer, I choose peace over performance. I choose boundaries over burnout. I choose self-love over being overly self-sacrificing and self-sabotaging.